Hi guys, how is everybody this morning or this afternoon, this evening, good this night, whenever you're listening to this? I'm just powering up for the morning and I just saw this article in Politico. Well, actually, a couple of different articles if you want to know the truth about Vivek Ramaswamy and how he has been basically kicked out of DOGE. He's got him out of DOGE. And it isn't even yet. I think they got him out yesterday. Um, it was announced that he was officially out. And it's funny because 4 days ago, I preempted this. I mean, I figured this out. I put it together out of the blue. Nobody told me. I have an instinct. People never listen to me. They should listen, right? They're going to listen at the wrong time when I am wrong. But usually when I'm right, nobody listens to me. And 4 days ago, I predicted this, and I'm going to highlight that video for you coming up shortly. But it was announced, and I not only did I predict it, I said that it would be before the 20th of January, which would be the day that Trump officially assumes office. I said it would be before, and it was, you guys. And even I am shocked by the fact that I was right. I'm like, what? But the handwriting to me was on the wall, and basically they turned on Vivek and they said they want him out, and they're blaming the fact that the tweet he made and so on and so forth. He's trying to save face, the poor little sod, by running for governor, because at first what they were saying was that Trump was recommending him for the Senate. I bought into that lie that Trump was recommending him for the Senate in Ohio, but apparently he didn't even get that, right? He didn't even get that. The governor of Ohio picked someone else, and so now Ramaswamy is now seeking to run for governor in his home state, so he's going to announce early next week that he's running for governor. But I could pretty much tell him, don't waste his money, don't waste his time, don't waste his energy. He's not going to win because he's out from the top. Okay, here's my own YouTube channel. I'm trying to find where I spoke about that video. I'm trying to find the video where I spoke about Vivek and how Elon doesn't play well in the sandbox. He's not a man who he's not a co-president of anything. He's not a co-anything. He's not co-CEO. He's the boss. That's what he wants. And this thing with Vivek was never going to work from the beginning. Even I can see that, and I'm not supposed to be very intelligent, right? So I don't know why everybody else didn't see it before I told y'all that that's what's up, right? Because this is the video right here, 4 days ago that if I can get it together here, with the volume. Doing a lot of reading today and a lot less FaceTime video and more reading today. And one of the articles I came across was on Yahoo News, where they talk about Trump offering Ramaswamy as Ohio. The Ohio governor is weighing the Senate vacancy that has occurred now that J.D. Vance, the senator from Ohio, obviously is now going to be the vice president. Now we know that Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy were given co-leader, co-director positions by Trump for this new agency that Trump made up called DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. And to be honest with you, from day one, I never said it, I should have, but I've always thought to myself, how's that going to work? Because I don't see anything certainly in Elon Musk's history, his work history, where he is a co CEO, co director, co boss of any entity that he has been associated with, whether it's Tesla, whether it's SpaceX, whether it's Neuralink, whether it's the Boring Company, whether any of these companies that he's associated with. He strikes me, I mean, I could be wrong. Obviously, I don't know this person at all, but he does strike me as someone who needs to be at the very apex of the hierarchy of power. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like he has to be the boss, it seems to me, and he's always the boss. And if he's not the boss, he buys out the company so that he is the boss. He makes the decisions. He has an issue with control. So, yeah, you guys, I mean, I was absolutely 100% right. I read that exactly right. I can read Elon almost as well as I can read Trump at this point. I'm a very good reader of Trump. And, I heard his inauguration speech, and I'm going to tell you the truth. I felt so nervous in my chest. Like, I mean, I was like, oh my God. There's a lot. And, you have to take him seriously at everything he says. But then you have to read between the lines. You have to sort of, you know, read between the lines. And so I was very, very nervous in my chest listening to him. And, what do I have to say about that? Look, I mean, Vivek, I remember when Vivek said, we're going to let them squeal, he said. And that also left me with a certain feeling in my chest when he said that, because I was really it just has such a negative feel, such a negative connotation for his intentions of what he intends to do to the American people. And people like Laura Loomer and those types of people were listening, I'm sure, which is why Vivek found himself out very quickly, because Laura Loomer was going to keep amplifying her turn, against Trump. And Trump knows that. I mean, and to some extent, I mean, Trump cares about his base. He cares about his base. He cares about his billionaire friends. He cares about Elon. He cares about, keeping those connections. And Trump is a Gemini, so he can work both sides very well. But what he wasn't going to do was have somebody like Vivek Ramaswamy, in any way cause him any kind of stress out of the starting block. He's out. He's just out. Vivek is not going to be governor of Ohio. He's just not. He can spend $1 billion if he wants, and I don't think he has $1 billion to spend. He's going to have to drop out very early in the race. No one is going to vote for him. His big mistake, I mean, it's one thing to talk about DEI and black people and so on, but what he did, his statement about the H-1B visas and Screech, and that was a sort of very awkward hit at white American workers. And the thing is that you can hit, black people all you want, say what you want about DAI, but don't come in here, as far as they're concerned, insinuating that Indian workers from India are somehow superior to white American workers, which is what he did. He was very clumsy about it. He tried to bring in this character from a black show in the statement. What was the guy name? Oh my gosh, I can't even remember, because it was not a show that I watched, but it was a very popular show. Urkel, Steve Urkel, so he tried to throw in Steve Urkel in it to say, well, he's not talking about, white people. He's really talking about all of it, black, white, pink, and striped. He was talking about white people, and white people knew it. And that's why Trump had to get rid of him. And that's why he's not going to be governor, because even within that circle, apparently he went to some inauguration event, whether it's a inauguration ball or whatever, and left early. And even the top honchos are saying that how dare he leave early, that he's very arrogant. They're done with him. He's done. He's finished. Finito. How many ways can I tell this to Vivek? Vivek, your political career is over, okay? You have to go back into whatever you were doing before, your pharmaceutical companies or whatever, Roivant or whatever it is, and stick with that. They have made you a sacrificial lamb. You are finito. It's over. It's finished, right? So that's half of DOGE. So the second half is going to be Elon Musk. And apparently he's set up his office in the White House. He also said some controversial things at that time, which had Laura Loomer hopping. But I would bet you money that Laura was at the inauguration and they've smoothed things over with her, because that's what they do. I mean, these people, these types of people, these men, they don't get to where they get to by being stupid and not knowing how to play the game. I mean, they know how to play the game. And people like Vivek always are going to be on the losing end, in the United States. I mean, it's just never going to work. I mean, how could he have made such a statement and be a politician? I mean, there's something called being politically correct, and I can't believe he actually said that. But it was just really an excuse anyway, because he was never going to be in. He was never going to be in. And him and Elon were never going to co-lead DOGE. Elon does not co-lead with anybody, not even Trump. Not even Trump, right? And Trump knows this about Elon. Trump is allowing Elon enough rope with which to hang himself. Okay, I take that back. Okay? Let me put this a different way. Let me try to be politically correct about this. Trump and Elon are equals in a certain sense, right? They're both brilliant men. They didn't get where they are by accident. I mean, look at what Elon has achieved. He's not even a born American. Look at what this man has achieved, where he is. This is not a fool, right? He knows how to play the game, right? He knows how to play the game. And yes, he's also smart. I mean, he understands certain things, and what he doesn't understand, he hires people to fill the void, right? And still be able to take the credit for it. And Trump is very much like that as well. There will be a clash. There will be a clash. It will be epic, but maybe we won't really even ever hear about it. We'll just see Elon sort of slink away to go take care of his 12 kids and his 5 wives on his harem on his compound somewhere, and that will be the end of it. But because Elon apparently has moved into the White House so that he has an office where he's going to be doing his DOGE. How does this man have time? I mean, this man has 15 other companies that he's running. I mean, I exaggerate a little bit, but I mean, it's a lot of companies, and these are big companies. Okay, so he's not necessarily the CEO of all these companies. He hires people, but still, I mean, it's a lot. And he also has, again, a huge family to deal with. And so where does this man get time to go sit in Washington, D.C. in the White House but did you like the way how Trump, during one of his speeches, was it his inauguration or was it at the eve, at the ball at Blair House, where he was very careful to bring in J.D. Vance in the conversation? Because, hashtag where is J.D. Vance has been trending on my YouTube channel for a while. I was the first one to coin that hashtag where is J.D. Vance, because he was just like, absent without leave. He was AWOL for a long time. It was all Elon all the time. But during the speech I heard, I don't know if it was at the Blair House or his actual inauguration, because I saw snippets of both. Trump was very careful to to set that tone that he's president and JD Vance is vice president. And Elon's name didn't come up in a big swath of that speech, you know. Eventually, I guess he got to Elon when he spoke about DOGE, whatever he did. But I mean, in terms of the power hierarchy and etc., I mean, Trump was very, very clear, and he did that intentionally to send a message to Elon Musk. Because ultimately, is Trump smarter than Elon Musk? I have said that in some ways, Trump is smarter than Elon Musk. Musk is technically smarter, and Musk is not an idiot in terms of, um, you know, manipulation. Also, I mean, these two men can manipulate life to suit their ends. They have to be able to do that to get to where they are. You know, you don't get to that point by being nice and by being a pushover and by not being able to watch your back, etc., and not knowing your enemies and not being smarter than your enemies, etc. I mean, it takes a lot to get to this point. So they're both very smart, but in different ways. I mean, I think, as I said, Musk is technically smarter in terms of what his engineering background is something that you can't really ignore. Trump does not have that, but Trump has a way with people that Elon does not have. The way that Trump was able to keep the American people seduced, you know, his base, MAGA, so that he could still come back and win this election, or even winning even the first time in 2016. I mean, this takes an understanding of people and intelligence. It is a form of intelligence, being able to manipulate people. Elon does not have the same talent as that Trump has, right? It's a special talent that Trump has. If Elon were in the same situation that Trump found himself with in after the 2020 election, he would have gone to prison. Like if Elon were Trump in the very same circumstances, he would have gone to prison. He would not have won a second term because people turn against Elon a lot quicker than they turn against Trump. And why? Because of a form of intelligence that Trump has that Elon does not have in dealing with people. Now, Elon clearly knows how to deal with people to some extent in order for him to have gotten to where he is, but he doesn't come near to Trump with that particular trait that I'm talking about. On the other hand, his engineering background and getting us to Mars and the things, you know, Trump doesn't have that. But still, ounce for ounce, maybe it's, you know, they balance out like a scale, you know. And in the end, I do think there will be a clash because Trump is going to want him to leave the White House. Trump is going to want him to leave the White House. It's come ça, you guys. And would it be a public blow up? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Listen, this video is going to be way, way, way too long. So I have to stop. I don't think I can even save this without taking all my apps off my phone. But so Vivek, back to Vivek. So Vivek, first casualty for DOGE, talking about government efficiency, cutting the fat, making them squeal, all of that. He was the first casualty. He fell on his own sword because he was not a nice guy. He had bad intentions for people in America who need their jobs, etc., etc. He was going to take pleasure out of doing that to people. And in the end, I think he does disdain America and, you know, American culture. He does. Right? He thinks that he's superior because he's Indian and, you know, he has an engineering mind, you know. It's a gift being able to understand engineering and the type of engineering that is useful today in terms of AI and, you know, algorithms and social media, and not even social media, but, you know, the technology under all of that. You know, a lot of Indian men in particular understand it a lot